When I first got into college, one of the first classes I took was an algebra class. And when I walked into this class, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, walking in with a level of excitement and confidence because I was the valedictorian of my class while I was in high school. I never had issues with math in the past. I mean, this class is going to be a breeze. I'm a natural. Boy, was I wrong. The excitement and the confidence that I felt melted away as this feeling of dread started to encroach me. The words coming out of my professor's mouth sounded more like gibberish than they did words. Struggling to grasp the material, my grades slipped from consistent A's and B's down to D's and F's, and I felt powerless to solve my problem. Before I knew it, this subject that I had loved so much and felt so comfortable with suddenly filled me with dread. The mere thought of doing math homework was anxiety-inducing. Little did I know at the time, but I was experiencing math anxiety. Math anxiety is any sort of worry, dread, or fear associated with math. And I was one of the lucky ones. Many experience math anxiety way sooner and most never overcome it. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at math anxiety across the world and paths we can take to overcome it. If you suffer from math anxiety, you're not alone. Please tell us about your experience with math anxiety in the comments below so that our team can make sure that we make content that can assist you in your learning journey. The first step to tackling math anxiety is by creating an anxiety-free learning environment. What do I mean by this? Far too often, education and math in particular is taken way too seriously. We have to sit down and do our homework and our textbooks to solve math problems. Now, thinking your experience, when was the last time you were excited to go tackle a problem? If your boss came to you and said, hey, we have a big problem to solve, would that raise feelings of excitement or of anxiety? We can do this through a litany of ways. First and foremost is changing our vocabulary. Instead of saying math problems, call them math puzzles. And instead of calling homework homework, call it home play. Simply changing the vocabulary that we contextualize the math material in makes it way more inviting. Hear the difference between these two examples. All right, come on, sit down. It's time to do your homework. Grab your workbook so we can solve these math problems. Or, come on, sweetie, let's sit down and do some home play and solve some math puzzles. Which is the more inviting language? Creating an environment of educational play doesn't have to limit itself to just math. It can spread into all subjects like writing, reading, and science. It's very important that you implement a culture of educational play as soon as possible. A wonderful resource to support a play-based learning environment is the Bittert Kinder Pre-Writing Play Journal. The Bittert Pre-Writing Play Journal is the first in a series of resources designed to help early learners develop numeracy, penmanship, spatial awareness, and fine motor skills. Compared to other handwriting journals that often present repetitive drills and lack engagement, the Bittert Kinder Pre-Writing Play Journal is designed to captivate early learners' interest. Filled to the brim with resources on how to properly use the book, teach pencil grip to early learners, instill good penmanship habits, and reusable exercises for additional practice. This resource is perfect for any parent or educator looking to create an environment of educational play for their learners. The Bittert Kinder Pre-Writing Play Journal can be purchased on Amazon, link in the description below. Now, there's a major factor that often goes overlooked when tackling math anxiety, and that's the math anxiety of parents.
Agnes Palmer is a professional working mom, but when it comes to her daughter's 4th grade math homework, she frequently finds herself at a loss.
I feel as a parent inadequate when I can't help her with the homework. I get stressed out. She gets stressed out.
This kind of math anxiety is very common and even socially acceptable.
You don't hear intelligent people walking around bragging that they're not good readers, but often people talk about not being a numbers person.
But psychology professor and author C.N. Beilock says that attitude can be harmful to our kids.
Telling them that it's okay to be bad at math, or there are people who are good at math and people that aren't. We're sending messages about their ability to succeed.
In fact, one study showed the more math-anxious parents tried to help their kids with math homework, the worse their children performed, which led to their own math anxieties increasing. So how can we create a more math-positive environment at home?
Things we should stay away from are phrases like, I was terrible at mathematics. It's okay if you are too.
And instead of focusing on getting right answers, focus on the process of getting those answers.
Tell me about how you solved this problem. Tell me what you were thinking when you worked on this number sense problem.
Math is something you learn, you're not born with it, and that hard work, interest, and motivation are really important for succeeding in this area.
Remember, says Megan, you're not alone. You can always turn to the school for help. And lastly, don't leave math for just homework. Try to incorporate it into everyday life from the very start.
How much things cost, how tall things are, how things get bigger and smaller. And as you get older, kids start to be curious about math concepts innately if they've sort of been thinking about them as just a way of life.
Experts say that studies show math anxiety can start in kids as young as in first grade, so it's important to stay positive about math from a very early age.
If you or anyone you know suffer from math anxiety, don't worry, you're not alone. We're here to help. I'd like to take a moment to invite you to a life-changing experience. Whether you're a student, parent, or educator, regardless of where you are on your learning journey, you deserve to take the African Math Challenge. This challenge will transform the way you see, learn, and teach math, helping you unlock the power of African numeracy, spatial reasoning, and problem solving. To join the African Math Challenge, there are 3 tiers. For students who want to improve their math skills, for parents who seek guidance for leading their child in their math journey, and the educators tier, for teachers who are looking for assistance in lesson planning and incorporating African math into their classroom. So if you're ready to elevate your math skills and join a community of like-minded learners, I look forward to seeing you at the next African Math Challenge. A study on math anxiety published in 2018 found that approximately 93% of adult Americans experience some level of math anxiety. But the problem doesn't exist only in America. In Ghana, a study involving 200 students attending Kimbu High School found that 47.5% of their learners experience severe math anxiety. Nkosi Nkrumah Kenyatta founded African Math in response to domestic and international peers, stating that it is not their responsibility to solve the African math problem.
Africans have always had their own culture when it came to mathematics, going back thousands of years. Some of the most advanced civilizations on Earth used an ancient measurement system that built ancient Egypt, ancient Nubia, even the great city of Zimbabwe. So I think it's important that Africans look into their pre-Ma'afa experience and start looking into the ancestral indigenous knowledge that built these great civilizations.
The event coincided with the opening of the annual National Indigenous Games Festival. Thousands gathered at the Sishogo Stadium just outside Polokwane to celebrate Heritage Day. Most of them dressed in Sepedi, Tsivenda and Kitsonga attire. The week-long Indigenous Games Festival is now also underway. It's the 3rd consecutive year that it's being held in Limpopo. About 1,440 athletes from all the provinces take part in 9 traditional sporting codes. Last year, the Indigenous Games were won by KwaZulu-Natal, followed by Limpopo.
It's very much important for us to use this, indigenous games to unite our people. But secondly, they're very much important to preserve our culture and our heritage, because every single one of them have got history behind it. It has a story to tell.
Diketo. Diketo is a coordination game, and each player tries to throw one stone in the air, and before catching it with the same hand, tries to scoop as many stones as possible from the ground. The player with the most stones wins.
Firstly, let me say the Diketo thing. Diketo is a game that is originated long time ago with our forefathers, maybe. But it is a good because it's for everyone who can just play. It is eye-hand coordination. And inside it is the mathematics that is there. You subtract, you add, you multiply, you minus. Everything is there for mathematics. Then what is enjoyable is that it is accommodating both genders, the males and the females, whereby we are using just a surface that is smooth. We play with the 10 stones, small 10 stones, and you have a goal. Then you start playing. It's having 5 rounds. Inside that 5 rounds is Madis 1 up to Madis 10. That is how we are playing it, and we have a method of scoring it. The points that you score is the points that you finish while playing Madis 1 and Madis 10. Then you score that point, the one that you are done with it.
When all else failed, as I was trying to bring up my grade in my intermediate algebra class, I went to my African math instructors and asked for help. There, I was able to learn the African math methods of this more advanced math I was learning in college, like how to factor polynomials, expressions, and quadratics. I gained a much better understanding of exponents and place value systems that I wouldn't have learned in my college classroom. By learning my ancestral African math methods, I was able to bring up my performance in class and alleviate my math anxiety. My confidence returned. The principles we covered today is just the start. For more in-depth guidance, make sure to take the African Math Challenge and join the African Math Village. African Math Village members gain access to exclusive games, lesson plans, tutorials, courses, and get access to the African Math team so that we can help answer any of your questions and help you along your learning journey. You can join today using the link in the description below. To see an example of an African Math play-based learning environment in action and the confidence it can have on learners, watch this video here. And to learn more about the African Abacus, watch this video here.